Have you heard of S.A.G.A Entertainment? Chances are you have. I'm also willing to guess that when you think of them, one of the things you think about is the Quest series of games. King's Quest, Police Quest, Space Quest. Personally, I was always partial to Space Quest, but did you know where S.A.G.A got its start? Legend has it that in the late 70s, Ken Williams brought a teletype terminal home so that he could work on an accounting program for the Apple II microcomputer, the system that he viewed as dominating the market at the time. He and his wife Roberta happened across Colossal Cave Adventure in a catalog and ended up playing it completely through. They so loved the game that they actively looked for more, but when they found there was very little to choose from, the obvious answer was that their future would consist of creating, programming, and publishing games. It was Roberta who realized that even though text was the way things were being done, they could add graphics, however rudimentary, and enhance both gameplay and immersion. With that thought, she conceived of a game, created 72 very basic image screens, and gave it to Ken to program. What they created together was the first interactive fiction text adventure with graphics known as High-Res Adventure No. 1 Mystery House. In the game, the player enters a Victorian-style mansion with 7 others, and while exploring discovers one of the other 7 is a murderer who is killing off the others one by one. The objective, to find the murderer and stop them before they kill the player. A very basic story that, in an interview in the December 1988 issue of Computer Gaming World, issue number 54, Roberta explained was inspired by both the Clue board game and the Agatha Christie novel 10 Little Indians. Seriously though, do not look that novel up. On the 5th of May 1980, the game was technically released, selling for $24.95 each, which was pretty much the going rate for games at the time. Interestingly, at first, Ken and Roberta drove around the Los Angeles area and pawned their new product, a manually transferred disc inside a Ziploc bag, to all 4 of the computer stores they could find. According to a blog post by Ken Williams, they also sold Scott Adams games with his permission, and though reports on the number vary between 15,000 and 80,000 copies of Mystery House were sold, which by far dwarfed any other game up to that point, all on just one platform, the Apple II, which we have right here. And based on the way this works, I'm just going to drop the disk into the floppy drive and hit reset, and we will be on our way. High-Res Adventure No. 1 Mystery House, copyright 1980, Online Systems by Ken and Roberta Williams. Enter G for game or I for instructions. Now before we hit I for instructions, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that I know the Apple IIe used a green monitor, but some were distributed with the amber monochrome monitors, and I find the amber monochrome monitor to be a lot easier on the eyes. I also want to bring to your attention that this game was a request, and I am doing it because it was a request. It was not even on my radar at the time, and it will probably lead to me doing more of online systems games. Let us hit I for instructions. Instructions for High-Res Adventure. Adventure is one of the most fascinating and challenging games available for your Apple computer. Winning is quite a challenge in a game where it may take hours to move and weeks to solve a puzzle. High-Res Adventure No. 1, Mystery House, takes place in an old house with many rooms. As you enter the house, 7 other persons will be in the living room. Eventually, they are dispersed throughout the house, and you start finding them dead. You must find the killer before he or she ends up killing you. Press return to continue. You progress through the house by providing 2-word commands which usually contain a verb and then a noun, but aren't always in that order. Examples are water on and open door. If a set of words doesn't seem to be working, try different terminology. If you should find a staircase, you may try upstairs or go stairs. Some of the actions you can take are get, drop, go, look, read, climb, move, hit, kill, etc. Press return to continue. You may go in the directions north, south, east, west, up, and down. Type north or in, or go north. The other directions may also be abbreviated as well. When your way is blocked and you can't use a direction to move, you may have to refer to the actual object in your way. In these cases, you could type go door, go hole, go gate, etc. In general, the top of the screen is the north, the bottom of the screen is the south. The left side is the west, and the right side is the east. Because of the difficulty of drawing doorways in the south or the bottom of the screen, there are 1 or 2 rooms where the doorways do not match up to the normal direction. If you want a closer look at something, say look object To return to the main view, say Look Room. Save game and restore game may also be used. Press Return to continue. A note of caution. Carrying more than one note may be confusing, as the computer will arbitrarily decide which one to read or drop. Should you wish to review past commands, you may press the return without typing to flip-flop between graphics and text. If your copy should ever fail to load or get munched by a hungry disk drive, send it with $5 to Online Systems 36575 Mudge Ranch Road, Coarse Gold, California 93614. Press Return to continue. At the start of the game, there will be 7 other people in the house with you. Their names, occupations, and hair color are as follows. Tom, blonde plumber. Sam, brunette mechanic. Sally, redhead seamstress. Dr. Green, brunette surgeon. Joe, brunette gravedigger. Bill, blonde butcher. Daisy, blonde cook. Press Return to begin play. And this here is the first graphic that we see. It is the house, the front of the house. Not exactly the best where perspective is concerned, but for 1980, I assume this is phenomenal. First thing we need to do, you are in the front yard of a large abandoned Victorian house. Stone steps lead up to a wide porch. Let's move up. You are on the porch. Stone steps lead down to the front yard. As we can see here, there is a welcome mat and a door. Let's open the door. You are on the front porch. Stone steps lead down to the front yard. The door is open. Let's go ahead and go inside. The door has been closed and locked. You are in an entry hall. Doorways go east, west, and south. A stairway goes up. And here we can see all 7 of our antagonists. We can also see there is a note on the floor, so we will get the note. And then let's read the note. Valuable jewels are hidden in this house. Finders keepers. Let's drop the note. It is back on the floor. We are going to move west into the kitchen. You're in the kitchen. There is a refrigerator, stove, and cabinet. We can also see that there is a sink here. Let's go ahead and look at the sink. There is a butter knife here. Actually looks a lot more sharp to me than a butter knife. I want to get the butter knife. Then let's go back to the room and open the cabinet. As you can see, the cabinet is now open, and if we look in the cabinet, there are matches in the cabinet. Let's get the matches. And then go back to the room and open the refrigerator. Those of you who remember back when I did the Let's Play of Bedlam, I really had a hard time with typing the word refrigerator, but I think Bedlam taught it to me. Let's go ahead and look in the refrigerator. Of course I misspell it afterward. Typo time. Inside there is a pitcher. Let's get the pitcher. And then go back to the room. Now we are at the sink again, or we want to be at the sink. Let's turn the water on. The water is running into the sink, and then we want to get the water. The pitcher is now full. Let's turn the water off because we live in a society where we need to be conservative with our natural resources. And then we are going to go east, back into the entry hall. The note is still on the floor, but everyone has left and has started going to their different areas. And now we want to go south into the dining hall. It is starting to get dark, and we are in the dining hall. I want to get the candle. There is a candle on the table, as you can see. And then I want to light the candle. It is still getting dark, and I am still in the dining room. And then we want to look. And we tripped over the rug and fell. Oh no, you started a fire with your candle. It's getting dark. You're in the dining room. This is why we wanted to have the water. So we're going to pour the water from the pitcher, and it puts the fire out. The pitcher is now empty. And as you can see, instead of telling us that there is a hole in the rug, it shows us there is a hole in the rug. See, this game, unlike the previous ones, including the Scott Adams games, instead of it telling us everything, we need to use our eyes as well. And this was supposed to increase immersion into a game. So let's look in the hole. And in the hole, we can see there is a small key. So let's get the key and then go back to looking at the room. And from here, we want to go north, which takes us back to the entry hall where we started. We want to go up the stair, and then since we are in a junction of an east-west hallway and a north-south hallway, we want to go north again, and we are now at a stairway, and we go north one more time. And this puts us at a doorway. We want to go to the door. Now we are here in a study, and you notice there are a picture, a desk. There's also a doorway. We want to go to the door. We want to move east to the bathroom. So we would go east into the bathroom. Here's a body on the floor here. You see a toilet, a shower, many things, but the important thing we need is the towel. And then we want to go back to the door, which will take us back to the study. And here in the study, we want to mess around with the picture. So we want to use the butter knife, and it will loosen the picture. The picture is now loose. So we get the picture, and we will see there is a button on the wall. Let's press the button, and we will find the wall opens. So let's go into the wall. This will take us to a musty crawl space, and the wall closes behind us with a bang. To the west or down, we see a stairway. We want to go down, and here we are in the stairway. It has a railing. We go down again, and it puts us in a moist basement. There's algae covering the walls and a dead body here. You will also notice there is a key on the table, or is that a cot, or I do not know what it is. The important thing is we need to get the key. And then from here, let's wipe the algae. The wall is exposed. There is a loose brick. If you did not have the towel, it would not wipe. Let's get the brick. We have found the jewels. So that there, I believe, is a little box of jewels. Let's get the jewels. And then we need to get out of here. So let's go to the hole. And this gives us a north-south tunnel, which I think is pretty well drawn considering the graphics they have to work with. Let's go north. And this puts us at a very tall pine tree. I believe this is the pine tree that in the initial image of the house was to the right of the house. So let's go up to the top of the pine tree. You're at the top of a very tall pine tree. Notice there's a telescope here, so let's look in the telescope. You're looking through the attic window. You see a trap door in the attic ceiling. You're at the top of a very tall pine tree. To get out of here, we need to go down and down again. So now there's a bunch of trees here. It's a forest. And then we want to move north and then south. The kitchen door is open. We cannot see the kitchen door, we just have to know that it is there. And this was done by way of mapping originally. So let's move up. And we are in the kitchen. There's a refrigerator, stove, and cabinet. And then we move east, taking us back to the entry hall, and then go up the stairs. Remember, we've been here to the junction. No, we want to go north this time. And then go up the stairs. And this takes us to the attic. Looking around, we have a lot of weird shaped items, but we are going to start by going to the door. And this puts us in a storage room. Here, we need to unlock the chest. That's what the key was for. And then open the chest. And then look in the chest. And here we should find a gun. It's a very crudely drawn gun with a very big barrel, but I will go with it. And let's get back to the room, where we are going to go back through the door into the attic. Now, remember we looked through the telescope and we saw a trap door? So let's go ahead and open the trap door. And then we're going to climb the ladder. We are in the tower, and there is somebody here with a knife. It's very important to shoot the gun now. Gun is empty, and Daisy is now dead. Notice how Daisy's expression has changed. Now there is a note here. Let's go ahead and get the note. And then read the note. It's in the basement. We already have acquired it from the basement. So let's go ahead and go through the trap door, taking us back to the attic, and then we're going to move down the stairs, and then go south, and down the entry hall, where we are going to unlock the door. We have the skeleton key, and that's what allows us to unlock it. Open the door. And we're going to move north and down. Congratulations, you have beaten Adventure and are declared a Guru Wizard. Would you like to play again? I have to tell you, this was an exceptionally swift run-through. I did not pre-prepare my path through the game, I just ran from memory. As such, I skipped over a lot of the flavor, and I feel this run-through may not be the best example of what the game has to offer. In reality, the game has a lot more rooms, a lot more deaths, and a lot of puzzles to figure out. And so, I'm probably going to do a more comprehensive run-through without the commentary, just to give you something to watch that will show you just how much more large this game really was. My honest opinion of this game, it was complicated. It took me a while to figure it out. The having to adapt to study the graphics added an additional layer of complexity. Did not always know what something was, or what was or was not an important item to interact with. Do not consider that to be a detriment, though. It's not like the game was intentionally being obtuse. It's a feature of the media, and I had to train myself to see it. Very refreshing and very enjoyable. I definitely believe in context this game accomplishes what it set out to do. In other news, and you knew this was coming, have you subscribed to my channel yet? Did you hit like? I would be really grateful if you would. I'm not some evil corporation coming after your clicks. I'm just a 49-year-old girl who is doing something like this for the love of the game, and I really want you to enjoy it as much as I do. Likes and subscriptions tell me that you're enjoying it. And, as I said before, this one was a request. I'm sure many of you have requests, and you should let me know what they are, and I'll see what I can do to make them happen, because I would really love to hear them from you. Until then, however, I look forward to our next adventure together.